First thing we'll do, call the meeting to order. Due to the ongoing COVID pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 in Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For Zoom meeting information related to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, the IT director, at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8252. It says prior to the meeting, but obviously, you can do it at any time. Hopefully she can get you in. With that being said, we'll bring the meeting to order, and let me bring my screen up. Am I not able to? Oh, there we go. Share. And we'll go over the agenda. Okay. Do we have any meeting minutes to approve?
No, we do not at this point. As we talked about last meeting, I was trying to hold off until we met in person, but give people physical minutes. But I'll be talking to Heather next week and see if we can just try to get these all out, and I'll just email them. And if we're not meeting in person by the next meeting, I'll just forward them, and then people can review them at their leisure, and we can do it then.
All right. We don't need to read up the whole agenda. If we have anything at the end, we can add it, but let's just get right into it with the COVID-19 concerns.
So yes, Jason, if I could go on with that. So for programs going on right now, we have some that are actually happening, not sponsored by the Parks Department specifically, but just ongoing at the park. We've had some scouting activities, which has been nice. We've had a couple of softball teams utilizing fields for practices. We have the varsity baseball team basically entered an AAU league this fall, and they're playing most Sundays down here. They're going to finish up this weekend with a kind of a mini tournament, which will be nice just to have some activity and stuff like that down here. So we have had some things, but limited. The one thing that we have seen a lot of activity for is the perimeter path. That is getting a lot of use. I would speculate that we get as many as 100 people a day on the path, which is nice. So we do have that going. But aside from that, not too much. For activity.
Have we had any issues? I'm sorry, Jeff. Have we had any issues or concerns with that, or any distancing issues, or any uptick in littering or anything like that?
None that I felt concerned with, or that anyone's voiced concern over. In general, people have been good about it. Not that many people wearing masks, frankly, but again, we have signage along the way suggesting people do. It's not a mandate. With the rises going on, it's up to the commission. The commission may want to revisit at some point, depending on where we end up with that. I know that Ayer is becoming somewhat of a hot spot all of a sudden. So that may be something that's worth considering.
I think we'll wait till the Board of Health makes that call for us. We'll let them, I think, make that mandate.
Sure.
It's so hard to police. I don't want us to get into the game of mask police unless the Board of Health says that this is a requirement for you to be open.
Certainly. Yes, the Ayer Police Department has voiced a similar concern that they would prefer not to engage their officers in excessive duties in that line, as opposed to actually doing the police work they're supposed to be doing. So unless there's an uptick, that would be my recommendation as well. I also expect we'll be getting a drop off very soon as the weather starts to get cool. So for activities, and Commissioner Gibbons may want to weigh in on this as well. There is consideration with the Halloween being called off officially in the town of Ayer, possibly doing something in the park with that. And I talked to the town manager's office about that. And with the rise of COVID cases and other issues going on, they were going to get back to me on their thoughts on that. But it's something that, you know, if the commission wanted to talk about tonight, just to at least have something on the table to work with. It might be something that the commission may want to talk about. And Sarah, I don't know if that's something you wanted to weigh in on as well.
Yeah, I mean, just looking for like outside the box ideas, even if it's just as simple, you know, if families wanted to decorate scarecrows similar to what's downtown and place them around the path, or whether we do, you know, that families can decorate at home and send in pictures, and we can, you know, get a couple employees from the town, you know, to judge and go get a, you know, a Dunkin's gift card or something to give to the family, or just trying to think of like fun activities that are like, you know, socially distant, but yet, you know, that would still bring a little bit of Halloween into it, if you will.
So, Sarah, you could almost do it similar to the virtual egg hunt, right?
I was thinking, exactly, yeah, that you could, you know, give a list of addresses or submit a pic, you know, something on that end,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You mean where we drove around to the houses and saw everything?
Yeah. Yeah. And make it a Halloween parade.
Yeah, just trying
Yeah.
to, you know, find the, just, you know, thinking in a different way.
Another thing that Carly had mentioned is that she was waiting word from the school about what they are doing, what they may want to do, and possibly having some type of thing where the Parks Department and other departments in town might participate together in doing something at the school. But my understanding was that she was still awaiting word from the elementary school principal on that. I don't know, Sarah, if you had any awareness of any of that.
Yeah, so there is going to be our Literacy Live event, and I do know that Mr. Deppie had been talking to the police as well as Carly and the fire department on trying to get other groups involved for the, you know, the event at Page Hilltop.
So
I
that
don't-
would be something
Well,
we could do as a department as well if we wanted to participate in that.
yeah. I mean, we're kind of running short on time here, so I think, yeah, I'd like to just let Jeff and Sarah work it out, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
However things shake out, you know, we'll get in touch with the people in town, you know, continue to work with the manager's office and the schools and everything, and you know, whatever. I think whatever we can do to help and be part of it, we should. I don't know if we want to set aside a budget for this or like a not to exceed of a few $100. So if we have to make any sort of purchases, I don't know if we want to do that or.
It would be beneficial to have that for the commission to authorize that spending power and where it would come from, whether it's the revolving account or the annual, the regular Parks Department budget. So that would be beneficial. My recommendation would be somewhere in the line of $200 to $300, just to have available for anything that we may want to do.
I'll hear a motion for that.
Sorry, Jeff, how much did you say?
Either the range of $200 to $300. I'd say $300 just to be safe.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we set a budget not to exceed $300 to participate in some sort of Halloween fall event through the town.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Sarah Gibbons, seconded by Scott Copeland. Any other discussion on that? No? Okay, so all in favor, we'll do roll call. Sarah?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And I'm also aye on that. So, I don't know if Scott from APAC can jump back on, but are you planning on doing a movie night again this year, or is it too late for that? I don't know.
So we can't do a movie night because of COVID. What we're doing is a digital film festival, ages 8 to 18. People can submit videos using their cell phones or if they have their own cameras. And we're giving a list of free video editing software people can download. And it's a contest for ages 8 to 18. So can't do the movie in the park this year, but we're trying to do this as something to give back.
That sounds like a really cool idea.
Where can people get information on that, Scott?
So everything is on our Facebook page and on our website. And we send that stuff out once a week.
Excellent.
Scott, let us know if you need any help getting the word out on that. We'd be happy to.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott, I think I should share that post again too with our community, our Town of Ayer page,
Yeah.
just to make sure the word's out.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll take care of that tomorrow or tonight.
Thank you. All right. Anything else?
That's all I had for
Yeah.
COVID-19 concerns on my end.
All right. So moving along.
So with
Project update.
updates, if I could, our biggest thing we just completed was the backstop. That was a nice project that we've been working on trying to get done for a number of years. It's the final of the 5 backstops. This was the one that was going to be the trickiest because of the cost, because of the size. Original estimates we had for it were $25,000 for a replacement. This ended up costing a little just north of $10,000. All money came from the sign money fund. So it was a really nice thing to finally get done. You can see from there, the previous backstop had an overhang, which was very poorly designed. Yes, that shows the original overhang that we used to have. The angle wasn't good for where the home plate was situated, so it really didn't do much effectiveness in catching balls. So we decided to just raise it another 6 feet instead of going out with the canopy. And just with the last game that was played there, you can see how much more effective it was. And obviously it looks a lot better too. So it's already got some use. It's just a really nice thing to get finished. So we're really happy to get this done. So the next things we're going to be working on for the fall, we're going to be doing some more field rehab. We're currently edging all of the fields except for field 6, which is still being used this weekend. And we're going to try to get that all done in time to at least get down a little bit of seeding. It's a little late in the season for that, but we're still going to get just some down to get a base, and then we'll reseed in the spring with it. But the most important thing is that by doing this type of work in the fall, we're able to jump right into the baseball season in the spring that much quicker when it's so hard to get field work done because the clay is too soupy. So we really want to get this done so we can start playing as quickly as possible. And my anticipation is that this spring, fingers crossed, of course, we're going to be able to jump right into spring sports, and people are going to want to get going as soon as possible. So we're going to try what we can do to get these fields ready to just turn right over in the spring is our main thing we want to do. Aside from that, we have a lot of leaf pickup. With the last storm, we lost a few trees, so we spent some time cleaning that up. And that's going to be probably going to finish us up for projects, probably do a couple things down the beach as well.
Okay. We talked the other day about ice rink.
Yes, so scouting out areas down by the maintenance building. One of the big things we want to do for an improvement for the building, the new building, is it was not equipped due to cost cuts and everything else with a slop sink or a hot water tank that we could do the types of things we want to do with an outdoor rink. So we're trying to get those installed within the next month or two. Chuck Schultz is going to be assisting us with that, the building manager for the town of Ayer. And with that, hopefully we can try to set up a rink down at the park. Now, this is going to involve some cost, of course, because we would have to get a new liner and some other materials for that. So I don't think we have to get that lined up right now, because I don't need to purchase them right now, but I would want to purchase them by the next meeting. So it's something the commission can start thinking about is I'll put out by email the kind of estimates for costs for putting up a rink, erecting a rink would be at this point. My guess it would be in the range of anywhere between $500 and $1,000. But it's not an annual cost. It's something that the materials we get for that would last for some time, ideally. The different types of ideas I have for doing it down here, one, we could do it right on top of one of the basketball courts by using landscape timbers or railroad ties. We could also use some of our rink material that we've had. It's over 10 years old. The boards are starting to fall apart. They're pretty flimsy, so they're not built to last very long. And we probably could salvage enough of them to create a rink with a lot of work, but it's something we could do on near the side of the building as well. So those are the two different ideas, and the commission had any ideas of how they would like a rink set up, or whether they would like a rink set up for a certain, or would just not really have much opinion on it. It's worth stating, because that would go.
So I had some thoughts after we talked. If we put it on the basketball court and we put the liner down and we don't get cold weather and it just sits there unfrozen, or we freeze it and then we hit a mild spell, that sometimes happens, right? I'm worried that we're going to have people out there running around on it and playing, trying to play basketball and stuff, if we put it on the basketball hoop. Whereas if we put it on the grass, we may be less likely to have people trampling it. And if we need to buy more materials, we need to buy more boards. I don't know. What kind of cost will we be looking at for that?
Well, that's where it would go north of $500, because those materials cost a lot more. Where railroad ties or landscape timbers, the amount we'd need to use would probably be a couple $100. We already have some to start with, so it wouldn't be as much. So It really depends. Having the basketball courts, they're so level. That's where we can get away with using something that isn't the same type of system that we normally set up with a nice rink. I believe Commissioner Gibbons has one in her yard she sets up, so she's very familiar with it. But it's something we've probably seen other municipalities set them up with the railroad ties and the liner we get from ice rink. The liner itself is, that's the most expensive part. That's probably about $300-400 itself. So that's why it gets up to $500 pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. We don't spend a lot of money. I think we'd probably want to do something more permanent too. We talked about it in the past, doing like a deck hockey that can convert to ice hockey. So that could be an option for the future and not spend a ton of money on things now.
Yeah, another thing that is preventing us from really doing what we might want to do in the future is the area that I had kind of earmarked out for it is being used as a staging area by the town for two of their projects they're doing, including one that's going to benefit the park, a walking path that's going to be heading down our way pretty soon, which I was going to talk about in just a moment. But so that area would be ideal to do it. And what you're talking about, Jason, I think that would be the perfect spot for it, because you could build something a little more permanent right there.
My only suggestion is to be somewhere that you're close to the water.
The water source?
Yeah, because it's a nightmare in the cold weather trying to get that water to flow through a frozen hose.
Yes. No, that's where the warm water would go a long way too, just to have some flow of warm water helping out with that. Yes, no, I agree, Sarah, and that's where Jason thought right next to the building in the grass is probably the closest we can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we can, I mean, we're not going to leave the hoses out, right? We can reel them
No.
back into the building where it's,
Correct. You bring them back in, but just when it gets, on those freezing nights, I know, ours is in our yard and it still gets kind of tough to get the water out there just to
Right.
get it flowing through.
okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to want to talk to you and Jamie about what you guys have been doing over the years, because we were never able to do that with our other rink. So that'd be nice to talk to you guys and see what works best for you.
Sure. So I'll make a
Okay.
motion that we spend, $1,000 or under on putting.
Up to $1,000, yes.
Yeah, up to 1,000.
But you would probably need to use that through the revolving account.
Okay, so the revolving account to put a skating rink this winter down at the town park.
I second it.
Okay. Sarah Gibbons made the motion. Scott Copeland seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call. Sarah?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And I am also aye.
And just to cap that off, Jason, part of your concern with the having people encroach on the skating rink when it's not being used or not frozen, whether we have it in the basketball court or not, that tends to be the case. So we do fence it off. We put up snow fence around it to help deter that type of behavior. We almost have to, because it's just too inviting for people to want to get on top of.
All right. Okay. Sounds good.
And for the last part of the project, as I mentioned, the DPW is doing a project that they're going to be bringing down a new sidewalk along School Street, leading into the park, which will be a very nice access for people that want to use Peroni. And the way they're going to be doing it, when it reaches Bly Street, there's going to be a crosswalk, and then they're going to create a path down to the perimeter path from the monument area down to where the path is on the slant, so that it's ADA accessible. Part of the project is something, and I talked to Commissioner Gibbons about this, and she was in favor of it because it's her grandfather's monument, is doing some stuff with the monument path as well. So that path, just the cement path leading up to the monument from Bly Street is a little dated, and it's got some cracks and crumbles. So that'll be a nice thing that they're hopefully going to have a little extra money to work on that. And then they're also going to be putting a rain garden to the left of the monuments, where we have a lot of washout from the stormwater that comes down School Street. So that'll be a nice enhancement as well. So I just wanted to make the commissioner aware that work should be starting mid-late fall.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right. Moving on to personnel matters.
For personnel matters, I just wanted to mention that two of our longtime workers, Alex Calabrese and Tyler Mayo, are nearing the end of their service. I anticipate they're both going to be finishing up this fall. I just wanted to acknowledge their good work they've done since 2013. They're our longest serving employees. And I just want to say thank you to them publicly for all of that they've been able to do with us. Tyler is currently working full-time in a law office, I believe. And so he hasn't really been able to work with us much this fall. And Alex is also working full-time, but he's going to be joining the Air Force in December. So we're really happy to hear that that's something he's looking forward to, and congratulate him on his new path he's taking.
You're here. You got to bring in the next crop.
Yes, and with that said, we probably are going to want to make a new hire. I may want to hold off until spring, but I may also want to put it out there in the fall and get somebody started at least. But we generally suspend our seasonal maintenance employees in December, so we may not have a lot of time to do that. So I'll be rethinking that, and I'll be working with the chair on that to see where we want to go. And then the other part of personnel is beach staff. Recently spoken with Heidi. without getting into too much detail and rehashing old things with the beach not getting open, it was something that I personally had a lot of issues with of how that was dealt with through the town, not on our end, but I'm not going to air any grievances on that. That's not my point. But what is that we never really had a really good chance to finish up with our seasonal lifeguards and just beach staff in general. At the end of the season, we normally have some kind of thing where we talk about it, have like a small get together, and just talk about who's interested next year and just thank everyone for their efforts. And because we never opened, and we never had a chance to do that. So we were considering trying to put something together this fall just for the staff members and just recap of what we had to deal with for the COVID and what we hope to be able to do next spring. So I wanted to talk to the commission about that we were discussing that and get any thoughts from the commission on that.
Okay. What were you thinking? Just a meeting and just have them down to the beach or something?
Just down the beach, maybe, pizza, which I'd take care of, a couple drinks, things like that, socially distance, with masks. I probably want to clear this with the town manager's office as well, since it's a town-sponsored event. And just make sure we're falling within the COVID-19 guidelines that their office is set up for town personnel. But aside from that, it's something that we would like to do. Just, again, we could obviously do it through Zoom or other things, and maybe we would if that's the only route we could take. But we would like to do something.
Okay.
Like get my lights fixed.
Yeah, just let me know. I mean, I can be flexible during the week. Some days, obviously, I'm not going to the office every day. But so if you wanted to do it during the week or the weekend, I don't know. Just let me know how it works out.
Yeah, we have a couple sweatshirts we'd like to hand out, so we'd like to get those personnel available as well. So that would double us something we do with that, and obviously as many commissioners as we can get to be part of that would be great.
Okay. All right. We got about 20 minutes left, so.
Okay. If I can, I'll go through these the next three very quickly if I could. So I just wanted to point out that we're in the middle of the FY22 planning. I know that seems early. It starts July 1st, 2021. It's when the fiscal year 2022 starts. So all of our planning has to start coming together pretty soon. Capital planning, we'll want to get our requests in pretty soon. Again, I didn't map out anything. I will be sending via email the commission our 5-year plan that we currently have in place for that, and some suggestions that we may want to be thinking about for submitting for our capital planning, which I believe will be in December. So we'll want to do that at the next meeting, but I want commissioners to be aware of that. As far as town meeting goes, we have that coming up next Monday. Is that correct? In any case, we don't have anything on the agenda. There's nothing that's specific to the Parks Department, but it's always good to have departmental representation there if there's any questions. So I do intend to be there. So I just want to make sure the commission was aware of that. And incidents, we did discuss an incident last week with a fire that 2 youths were involved with at the park, which the commission had put together a plan to deal with. Part of that plan was for me to get in contact with the parents. I've left messages for the parents. I've left several. I don't want to give up on that quite yet, because the fallback on that was to simply give an order of no trespass. I was able to speak with someone from the school about these individuals just to get an idea of what's going on at home possibly. And I was told that basically it would be worth our community's while to try to help them to get through this without just giving an order of no trespass if possible. So I'd like to continue to work on that if I can.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, we're coming upon the cold months. If this was at, if this happened in like March and you had the whole summer in front of us, it'd be a little bit more, it'd probably be a little bit more pressing to get things done. And maybe we'd have to light a fire under them by issuing an order, but where things are kind of going to start ramping down, I think we should give it a little bit more time. Try to meet with them.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Soccer?
Soccer is going well. We are currently still doing the U6, U8 in town on Saturdays. Kids have been great, wearing masks, no problem. Coaches have been awesome at, keeping the kids the 6 feet apart as much as possible when, doing their skills and drills. And the parents have been very understanding about not bringing extended family in large groups to watch. So overall, it's been successful, and we have 3 weeks left of that. And then the older kids, for the Ayer Shirley, there is no Neshoba Valley League this year, so there was no travel. So instead, we put together just an Ayer Shirley intramural co-ed league, which has been going great, and the kids have been having a lot of fun with. So a different kind of year, but overall, so far, successful.
And we've been working with Shirley Recreation, painting the mutual fields for the U10 club levels. In fact, I'll be painting there tomorrow.
What about the spring season? Is they need registration and everything getting started for that?
We have not. I was kind of holding tight just to kind of see what the winter brings in the next couple weeks. But it's kind of quick to call Unipay and get that opened real quick. So it's ready to go whenever we are. It's just kind of waiting it out to see where we're at in the next month or so.
Doesn't the travel one open pretty early?
It does, but there's been no talk from Neshoba Valley about the spring season at this point.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad we're doing something.
Yeah, it's been working, and everyone seems happy that there's something to do. So it's been good.
Great. What about basketball?
So basketball, we have been obviously in a holding pattern with that. The Ayer Shirley Youth Basketball Board was supposed to meet last night, but there was some issues that came up, so we're going to meet again next week instead. One new development with that was for the Central Mass part of that league. The Central Mass governors did send out something that they were able to secure some gym space, if needed, at the facility in Westford, who I guess they're going to expand their facility. So part of that would be that each team would have to pay $50 per game for court fees to use that, on top of the other fees they would normally use. It's negotiable, they said, about charging admission, which we had done in the Air Gym anyway. It's kind of a wash because we were supposed to be paying a fee there anyway on Sundays. So it's that's something, it's a possibility. And then the ball goes back in our court, literally, in terms of an organization to, whether or not we want to put together a program after considering all the potentials for risk of what's happening. So that wouldn't start until January. Normally that program would start in mid-November. So there is some time on that to make an assessment. The board's going to discuss it next week. But if the Parks Commission, Air Parks Commission, wanted to weigh in on that part of it as well, they may want to. Just before you discuss it, on the recreation end of it, for the local program, the K-8 program, we obviously have the same factors, finding facilities, and then if we have the facilities, deciding if we want to actually have a program based on the caution that's required to do so. Where it was left off by the commission was to not make any request to the school at this point, and allow the school to let the dust settle for the first couple months of their trying to open. I would request at this point that the commission would allow me the opportunity to set up a meeting with the administration just to kind of discuss what we may or may want to do. I think that would be an ideal just starting point to kind of go with.
Is the state allowing us to play basketball?
Yes, I believe so. I'm not positive of that. I take that back. I do not know for sure. I believe at this point the answer is no, but the anticipation is that that would be lifted in time for the season. So obviously this is all based on the allowance to be there. Most players who are currently playing basketball are playing in New Hampshire where there is no restriction. So
Well, they started shutting down hockey rinks and everything. Do they shut down basketball courts too in New Hampshire?
that I'm not aware of.
Okay. I mean, do we need to make a decision on our program tonight?
Oh,
Can we
not
just
at
wait
all.
and see how things?
Just more of recommendations to the board about anything the board, the Parks Commission may want to have, because the board, as you know, consists of two commissioners. I'm sorry, a commissioner, Jason Leone, a member, Jeff Testa, and myself. So we work for you, the commission. So if you have any, you delegate responsibility to us. So if you had any thoughts on this, then we would certainly want to take those into consideration.
Okay. I don't really have any thoughts on it tonight. Sarah or Scott, do you have anything?
I have nothing specific. I mean, it's worth starting a conversation about, but it's still hard to tell what's really going to happen in the next couple weeks.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I think, from my end, the reaching out to the school is more just, they might be wondering where we are. We haven't heard from these guys. I wonder what they're thinking. Obviously, they have enough to think about already, but it's just like I said, a conversation starter. Let them know what we're thinking about and where we stand at this current moment. We're also going to be putting out, and I've composed a letter to be sent out to all basketball players and parents from last year that just needs approval from the Air Shirley basketball board before I send it out. Just with the understanding of what's going on, give them an update. I've had a couple inquiries already, and expect to get quite a few more in the next few weeks. So it's ideal if you can get some info out to them, even if that's just that you don't have much information.
Right. I think that if you're gonna talk to the school, I think start with the AD and feel him out first before we talk to anybody else in the administration or the business office. This is really like the least priority thing right now. And I don't think, I would doubt that they're waiting for us or wondering where we are at. They're like struggling to keep their heads above water.
Understood.
So, I mean, the AD probably can give you some guidance. And he'll give you a sense too, because he's the one that manages the gyms anyway. So.
All right. And I have a very good relationship with the building manager as well. So I probably talk to him as well, just to get an understanding of where we are.
Okay. Anything else that we want to add to the agenda for the next 10 minutes? How was the wedding?
Oh, it's great.
I didn't ask you last week. I'm sorry. We got kind of caught up in the other conversations.
Yeah, it was a very good occasion for everybody. The ideas were said. The weather was incredible. I was really happy. I was really proud of my daughter and my new son-in-law for figuring out a way to make all this work. It was not very easy. They've been planning this for a year and a half, and in the end, they just wanted to get married. So I felt really bad for them, and I know it was a bit of a risk to do this. There's not a lot of good flavor right now about having any public gatherings, but they did it right. They kept the numbers small. They did social distancing, masks. So they had to say, to 100 of the guests that, sorry, we can't do it, but, we'll try to do something for you next year. And so, no, it was really good. But thank you for asking.
Great. Well, congratulations. No longer your problem, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was a lot to think about until now. So, but of course, JJ has now announced he's engaged. So, something new.
Nice. There you go. Pretty soon you're gonna have no more. It's gonna be you and Julie.
It was,
All right. So we're looking at the third Thursday of November is the week of the 16th. Let's see if we can try to schedule it a bit later, like 7, just to see if we can get Jerry and Jason at a later time.
I'll-
So any day that week,
okay.
as we,
Shoot for Thursday of that week and then bounce around, but try to get a priority of a 7 o'clock or later start.
yeah, that'd be good. And obviously, the week after that's Thanksgiving, so we definitely want to get it done the week of the 16th. Okay. If there's nothing else, I think we're done. And we can take a motion to adjourn and we'll call it an evening.
We'll make a motion to adjourn at 6:23 p.m.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. I don't think we need to vote on that. I think we all just hang up and leave and have a good night.
Thank you.